going to give a quick overview of the different types of print rafts that you can generate in D3Splint. The simplest is just a plain rectangular raft. So we'll left click to place our 3D cursor there, add the raft, pick our print angle, choose some settings if they're different from your default. And you can see this raft automatically comes in, and the occlusal plane is the angle that we chose, 45 degrees, away from the raft. So then if we need to make changes, we could edit that raft to make it wider or thicker, then join that raft to the appliance and continue in the workflow with the finalization and export. So I'll undo those. The next type of raft is the Vuli style. Concept on this is minimal supports in the anterior portion because flat plane appliances, if you look at this, that being the vertical and this being horizontal, and then picture a 45-degree angle, anything that is exiting the surface below that angle, so everything right here is unsupported when looking at it from this view. So right when you get to about here, the surface is exiting. Even there, it's still a little shallow. So probably up to about here is probably the ideal, safest place from which point the appliance is self-supporting on the way out. And that is only from this view, though. You get a little extra support because a lot of these surfaces are self-supporting when viewing it from the other direction. Okay, but on average, there's an area of unsupported or non-self-supporting part of the splint down here, but then the rest has a high chance of being self-supported all the way up. So that is the concept that the VU raft is based on, is that you only need concentrated supports at this lower anterior edge, and then that can allow you to print it maximally supported here, but with small contact areas so that you can then pop those supports off very quickly. So functionally, the way we do this is we still place the 3D cursor at about the lowest point, and then we just regenerate the raft as needed to change the setting. So in this case, I'll pack the little cylinders more closely, and then make them a little smaller, but make the support be able to go like further up on the appliance, so that'll increase the extension up here. Alright, so there we have a little higher density of supports along here. And you can see how, if we look at this from this side, I've kind of changed the width this way until that surface is almost 45 degrees. And now that's from a, notice the more vertical we are from our viewing angle, the closer this gets to being self-supported. Okay, lastly is the ribbon style. So for that, we're going to click Add Support Ribbon. And again, you want to try to visualize that little U-shaped edge of the appliance that is unsupported, and draw your print ribbon along there. And this ribbon is just going to become a single continuous support. And the reason we like that is it's very easy to polish, because you just run your burr along the ribbon, and where you're polishing is like very consistent. And so instead of trying to use like a round burr or something to try to hit each individual support, and you get a little bit of droopiness between the supports even when they're kind of light and tightly packed. So we just create this little wax ribbon and commit it. We don't join the wax to the appliance yet. We click Add Raft, choose our angle, And then in this case, we have a great spot to put a label on the little platform or raft below it. So this really helps with keeping track of multiple appliances on the build platform. So yeah, I probably overextended this a little bit, but I think the concept is pretty obvious. And so you might be thinking like, wow, that's going to be a real hassle to remove. You've got enough space here that you can get your clippers in and kind of clip this, and then it's grinding this thin ribbon down is actually like very easy, and you have something to work for. There'll be a little lip here and a little lip right here that you can feel with your fingers, or anyone who's felt anything smooth can kind of tell. So it's very easy to kind of get that ribbon down, and it's also really easy to control, making sure it's not here in the functional part of the occlusion. So that's a slightly in-depth overview of the various raft options that you have in D3 Tool. The workflow follows that you join the raft, finalize the appliance, and there's your label, there's your intaglio, and then you can just send this direct onto Rayware. I don't even know if I have Rayware installed in this computer. Probably not. Oh, great. It is installed, and I'm going to ignore that for a moment, and you'll notice that it's automatically flat to the build platform. So we've built in quite a bit of automation for your workflow.